Researchers at a German university once carried out an experiment that sparked intense curiosity and debate around the world, especially among people who question how much pain an animal feels during slaughter. The focus of the study was to scientifically observe what actually happens inside the brain of an animal at the moment of Islamic slaughter. To do this, the researchers selected a healthy cow and prepared it carefully for monitoring. Electrodes were placed on the animal's head to record EEG signals, which measure the electrical activity of the brain. These signals are widely used in medical science to understand pain awareness, consciousness, and brain function. When everything was ready, the slaughter was performed according to the Islamic method with a very sharp knife and a single, swift cut at the exact moment of slaughter. The EEG machine continued recording every tiny change in the brain's activity. What surprised the researchers was that during the first 3 seconds after the cut, there was no noticeable change in the brain waves. This indicated that the cow did not register pain during these initial moments. There were no spikes associated with stress, panic, or pain perception, which normally appear when an animal experiences suffering. In the following 3 seconds, the EEG readings began to show a rapid drop in brain activity. The cow lost consciousness and entered a deep coma-like state. This happened because the major blood vessels supplying the brain were severed. Blood pressure to the brain collapsed and oxygen delivery stopped almost instantly. Without oxygen, the brain cannot maintain awareness or sensation. As a result, the animal became completely unconscious before any pain could be processed. After approximately 6 seconds, the EEG displayed a flat line. This meant that the brain's electrical activity had stopped entirely. At this point, the animal was clinically dead and incapable of feeling anything. The experiment clearly showed that consciousness was lost within seconds and that pain perception did not occur in the way many people imagine when people witness slaughter. They often focus on the sight of flowing blood and body movement and assume that the animal must be suffering intensely. What is not commonly understood is that these movements are not signs of pain but reflex actions controlled by the spinal cord. The brain, which is responsible for feeling pain and fear, is no longer conscious at that stage. In the Islamic method of slaughter, 3 critical structures are cut: the respiratory tract, the food pipe, and the major blood vessels in the neck. However, the spinal cord is deliberately left intact. This is extremely important because the spinal cord is not cut. It allows the heart to continue pumping for a short time, which helps drain the blood from the body. If the spinal cord were cut immediately, the heart could stop too quickly and blood would remain trapped inside the tissues. As soon as the blood vessels are severed, the blood supply to the brain is reduced dramatically. The brain is the most sensitive organ to oxygen deprivation. Within seconds, it shuts down, leading to loss of consciousness. This is why the animal collapses so quickly and does not experience prolonged suffering. At the same time, the pituitary gland in the brain sends signals through the spinal cord to the adrenal glands. This triggers the release of adrenaline. Adrenaline attempts to increase heart rate and redirect blood to vital organs, especially the brain, but because the main vessels to the brain have already been cut, this effort fails. The result is a rapid and irreversible shutdown of brain function. The continued beating of the heart for a short period allows most of the blood to exit the body. This process is beneficial from a health perspective because retained blood can become a breeding ground for bacteria and toxins. Blood left inside meat can accelerate spoilage and may contribute to disease. Proper bleeding results in cleaner, healthier meat. This is also the reason why Islamic slaughter emphasizes the use of a sharp knife and a swift, uninterrupted cut. A sharp blade minimizes tissue damage and prevents unnecessary stress. The faster the cut, the quicker the loss of consciousness and the less suffering involved. Any hesitation or blunt instrument would cause pain and is strictly discouraged. Modern animal welfare science increasingly recognizes that loss of blood pressure to the brain is one of the fastest ways to induce unconsciousness. The findings of this experiment align with that understanding and help explain why Islamic slaughter, when performed correctly, can be both humane and efficient. What appears dramatic to the human eye is often misunderstood. The flowing blood and physical movement are physiological responses, not indicators of pain. The brain, which processes suffering, is already inactive. The animal is not aware of what is happening. Subhanallah. When science examines this method closely, it reveals wisdom that goes far beyond appearance. The process ensures rapid unconsciousness, minimal pain, and complete drainage of blood. It balances compassion for the animal with cleanliness and health. For humans, for centuries this method has been practiced without modern instruments. Yet today, advanced technology like EEG confirms what was already known through guidance and experience. The results of this experiment highlight that Islamic slaughter is not a cruel act but a carefully designed process that prioritizes mercy, efficiency, and well-being. Understanding this helps clear misconceptions and allows people to look beyond emotion and observe the facts. When done properly, the animal does not suffer, the process is quick, and the outcome is healthier for consumption. If this explanation helped you see the topic from a new perspective and increased your understanding, then support the channel and stay connected for more insightful content. Subscribe to Frontline USAX and be part of the conversation.